द्यूतं छलयतामस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहं धियोऽस्मि रसायोऽस्मि सत्त्वं सत्त्ववतामहम्. I'm also the gambling of cheats and of the splendid. I am the splendor. I am victory. I am adventure. And I am the strength of the strong. So, of different types of cheating processes. Like gambling represents Krishna. Splendor in everything, splendor represents Krishna. Victory represents Krishna. Enterprise or adventure represents Krishna. The strength of the strong represents Krishna. So the idea
Sorry,
is,
Prabhuji. And is the recording on, Prabhuji?
Recording is on. Recording is on. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
So these represent Krishna. Of all cheating processes, gambling stands supreme and therefore represents Krishna. Another reason to avoid gambling because it is supreme amongst all kinds of cheating activities. Vaishnavas are expected to be morally superior to non-Vaishnavas. So therefore, we are expected to give up gambling. As the Supreme, Krishna can be more deceitful than any mere man. The unfortunate commentator who wants to cheat Krishna and the public by saying that there is something greater than Krishna is cheated by Krishna. And the commentator cannot understand Krishna after any length of time. If Krishna chooses to deceive a person, no one can surpass him in his deceit. His greatness is not simply one-sided. It is all-sided. Among the victorious, he is victory. He is the splendor of the splendid. Among the enterprising and industrious, he is the most enterprising, the most industrious. Among adventurers, he is the most adventurous. And among the strong, he is the strongest. Vrishninam Vasudevosmi Pandavanam Dhananjaya Muninam Apyaham Vyasa Kavinam Vishana Kavihi. Of the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudeva. And of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Of the sages, I am Vyasa, and among great thinkers, I am Vishana. Among the descendants of Vrishni, Krishna and Vasudeva represents the Swayam Bhagavan himself. Arjuna represents Krishna amongst the Pandavas. Vyasa is opposed actually. Is a specific. It is a post of a particular sage who is reputed to compile all Vedic literature for better understanding of the populace in Kali Yuga. So amongst the sages, Vyasa represents Krishna. Amongst all great thinkers, Ushana or Shukracharya represents Krishna. Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Baladev is Krishna's immediate expansion. Both Lord Krishna and Baladeva appeared as sons of Vasudeva. So both of them may be called sons of Lord Vasudeva. Sons of Vasudeva. Short. So both of them may be called Vasudeva. Both Lord Krishna and Baladeva appeared as sons of Vasudeva. So both of them may be called Vasudeva. From another point of view, because Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, all the forms of Krishna that appear elsewhere are his expansions. Vasudeva is Krishna's immediate expansion, so Vasudeva is not different from Krishna. It is to be understood that the Vasudeva referred to in this verse of Bhagavad-gita is Baladeva or Balaram, because he is the original source of all incarnations, and thus he is the sole source of Vasudeva. The immediate expansions of the Lord are called Swamsha, personal expansions, and there are also expansions called Vibhinnamsha, separated expansions. Okay, we'll come to this a little later. Now here, the word Vasudeva can refer to Krishna outside Vrindavan, Krishna's own expansion outside Vrindavan, such as Krishna in Dwaraka. So this statement, Vrishninam Vasudeva Hasmi, has two meanings. One meaning is the meaning that is derived from the synonyms here. I am Krishna in Dwaraka amongst the descendants of Vrishni. Or it can mean of the descendants of Vrishni, I am Baladev Vasudeva. I am Balaram, the son of Vasudeva. It cannot refer to Krishna himself, Swayam Bhagavan, because the Supreme Lord cannot represent himself. A representation is someone who manifests himself slightly. The immediate expansions of the Lord are called Swamsha, and there are also expansions called Vibhinnamsha. Now, what is a Swamsha? A Swamsha is a Vishnu Tattva expansion. A Vibhinnamsha is a Jiva Tattva expansion. This is clear from various other statements. The forms that have unlimited potency are called Swamsha. The forms that have limited potencies, the living entities, are called Vibhinnamsha. Swamsha Vibhinnamsha Rupe Haya Vistar Ananta Vaikuntha Brahmande Korendiha. Krishna expands himself in many forms. Some of them are personal expansions and some are separate expansions. Swamsha means personal expansion. Vibhinnamsha are separated expansions. Swamsha Vistar Chaturvyuta Avatar Gan, Vibhinnamsha Jeevitar Shakti Te Gunam, expansions of his personal self, the Swamshas, the expansions of the Swamshas, like the quadruple manifestations of Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva, descend as incarnations from Vaikuntha to this material world. The separated expansions are the living entities. Although they are expansions of Krishna, they are counted among his different potencies. The personal expansions are known as Vishnu Tattva, and the separated expansions are known as Jiva Tattva. So that distinction should be clearly understood. Okay, is my voice clear now, or is it still unclear?
It's a little bit low, Prabhuji.
A little bit low. Why is it low? Now, how is it now?
Yeah, better, Prabhuji. Better.
Among sons of Pandu, Arjuna is famous as Dhananjay. Dhananjay is the name of Arjuna. He's the best of men. He's the best of men, Narottama, and therefore represents Krishna. Among Munis or learned men conversant in Vedic knowledge, Vyasa is the greatest because he explained Vedic knowledge in many different ways for the understanding of the common mass of people in this age of Kali. And Vyasa is also known as an incarnation of Krishna. Therefore, Vyasa also represents Krishna. Vyasa's great contribution is that he could present the teachings of the four Vedas in a manner that is appreciable by tamasic people, rajasic people, and sattvic people. So that is Vyasadev's very great contribution, that he could pull everyone into the Vedic tent, even though they may have various uh, levels of conditionings. Then Kavis are those who are capable of thinking thoroughly on any subject matter. Among the Kavis, Ushana, Shukracharya was the spiritual master of the demons, referring to the Daityas. He was an extremely intelligent and far-seeing politician. The Shukracharya is another representative of the opulence of Krishna. Shukra is blessed by Krishna with special intelligence, political intelligence. Dando damayatam nitirasmi vibhishatam maunam chaivasmi guhyanam jnanam jnanavaktamaham. Among all means of suppressing lawlessness and punishment, and of those who seek victory and morality, of secret things and silence, and of the wise and wisdom. I'm tracing this verse. This is He says, amongst those who inflict punishment, punishment represents Krishna, by which those who deviate from the auspicious path are brought to the auspicious path. That kind of punishment is an opulence of Lord Krishna. For those who desire victory, justice represents Krishna. Amongst the various confidential activities of secrets means of the activities of Vedic learning, contemplation, and meditation. Amongst these three are considered confidential activities. Amongst them, it is Mauna. Mauna refers to silence with the thought of a sage. If one can engage in hearing and contemplation of Vedic knowledge with faith, then very soon one will attain the desired result. Among those who are trying to be victorious in some field of activity, the most victorious element is morality. Among the confidential activities of hearing, thinking, and meditating, silence is most important, because by silence one can make progress very quickly. The wise man is he who can discriminate between matter and spirit, between God's superior and inferior nature. Such knowledge is Krishna himself. Okay, any questions so far? Gopal Ganash. You have a question? Okay, I'll move on. Yachapi sarvabhutanam bijam taddaham arjuna. Na tadasti vinayatsyan mayapur characharam. Furthermore, Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existence. There is no being moving or non-moving that can exist without me. Whatever may be the seed of all creations, Arjuna, I am that. There is nothing which exists without me, whether it is a moving or non-moving creative being. Everything has a cause, and the cause or seed of manifestation is Krishna. Without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist. Therefore, he is called omnipotent. Without his potency, neither the movable nor the immovable can exist. Whatever existence is not founded on the energy of Krishna is called Maya, or that which is not. So Maya is the illusory appearance of reality. The Mayavadis claim that it is actually, it doesn't exist, but we say that it exists, but that Maya produces an illusory appearance of reality. The traditional standard example that you'll find in the literatures of the Upanishads, and this also appears in Srimad Bhagavatam by Shukadev Goswami himself, is in the dark, if you're walking and you see a rope and you think it's a snake and you become frightened. Hare Krishna, can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? Hare Bol,
Yes,
can
Prabhu,
anyone?
voice is breaking.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can
Yes,
anyone?
yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, I was explaining this sentence about the nature of Maya. The standard example that's given is just like the fear we experience when we walk in the dark and we see a rope and we think that it's a snake. Now, why are we afraid? We are afraid because we have mistaken a rope to be a snake. A snake is a natural cause of fear, but a rope isn't. So we have superimposed the concept of a snake on the perception of a rope. Therefore, we are frightened. So now this is what that fear is caused by the illusory appearance of a snake. We are looking at a rope, but in our mind we are looking at a snake, and we are afraid because of the snake. But that snake is not founded on reality. So this is the nature of Maya. Maya causes you to have a mistaken understanding of reality, and therefore we become frightened. And therefore the Srimad Bhagavatam repeatedly says that don't be caught up in delusion. Don't be caught up in delusion. That doesn't mean that the rope doesn't exist. A rope exists. And it doesn't mean that no snakes exist also. Snakes exist elsewhere. Indeed, we have seen a snake in the past. That is why we are afraid of a snake now. If snakes never existed, we would never ever be frightened of a snake. Just like there are children who don't know what a scorpion is. And not knowing what a scorpion is, when a scorpion crawls towards them, they think it's some kind of a toy, and they're not frightened because they never saw it before. They don't know. So the very fact that we are frightened of a snake by looking at a rope indicates that we have had some prior experience of a snake, which is why we are frightened now. Similarly, uh, Maya is the illusory appearance of reality. Variety exists originally in the spiritual world, but when we think that that variety, which is wholesome, exists in the material world, then we are said to be influenced by Maya. Okay. Natuspi mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa eshetu deshatah pro vibhute vistaro maya. O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. O conqueror of the enemies, there is no limit to my divine opulences. All of these are but examples. All of this is spoken as just some examples of my vast opulences. There's no limit to such opulences. Therefore, not all of the opulences and energies can be explained. Simply a few examples are being described to Arjuna to pacify his inquisitiveness. Yad vibhutimat sattvam srimad durjitameva va taptadeva vagakshatvam mama tejomsha sambhavam. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Whatever opulences in existence that are beautiful and glorious, you must know that they are born of a part of my splendor. Any glorious or beautiful existence should be understood to be but a fragmental manifestation of Krishna's opulence, whether it be in the spiritual or material world. Anything extraordinary opulent should be considered to represent Krishna's opulence. Baladev Vidyabhushan remarked. Now he is talking about opulences which he has not described in summary. One should know that all of these opulent manifestations are possible by a mere fragment of Krishna's potency. All of them have been indicated as being non-different from him because they are absolutely under his control and they are pervaded by him. Because of these two reasons, they have been referred to by Lord Krishna as being non-different from him. However, Vamana and other such Vishnu Tattva forms, they are actually factually non-different from him. This should be reconciled in this way. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, I'll move on. अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तवार्जुन विष्टभ्याहमिदं कृत्स्नम् एकांशेन स्थितो जगत्. What need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Or, what is the point in knowing much of this kind for Arjuna? Pervading this entire universe. I am situated merely by one part. In other words, in one part I am situated throughout this universe with a single fragment of myself. I pervade and support this entire universe. एवम् अवयवशो भूति रूपवर्ण्य सामस्त्येन ताः प्राह अथवेति. He had individually described various opulences, but now he is collectively describing everything in material existence to be pervaded and controlled by him. What is the point of describing all of this separately? O Arjuna, this entire universe consisting of matter and spirit, beginning with Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and others, all of them have been pervaded by me alone, as the super soul of material nature and so on, in the form of various Purusha avatars, because I am the creator, I am the maintainer, I pervade all over them. Because I am the maintainer, I maintain them. In this way I exist. In other words, the activities of creation, maintenance, annihilation, all of them are executed by my opulences. Shaktilesha Suryadya bhavanti tubhra tejasaha yadamshena thritam vishwam sa krishno dashame ruchyate. By a mere speck of whose potency the sun and others become extremely powerful. By a mere fragment of himself, his entire universe is maintained. That Krishna is worshipped in the 10th chapter. The Supreme Lord is represented here, is represented throughout the entire material universes by his entering into all things as the super soul. The Lord here tells Arjuna that there is no point in understanding how things exist in their separate opulence and grandeur. He should know that all things are existing due to Krishna's entering them as super soul. From Brahma, the most gigantic entity, on down to the smallest ant, all are existing because the Lord has entered each and all and is sustaining them. He is the origin of everyone born, and no one is greater than him. He is Asamardha, which means that no one is superior to him and that no one is equal to him. In the Padma Purana, it is said that one who considers the Supreme Lord Krishna in the same category with the demigod, be they even Brahma or Shiva, becomes at once an atheist. If, however, one thoroughly studies the different descriptions of the opulences and expansions of Krishna's energy, then one can understand without any doubt the position of Lord Sri Krishna and can fix his mind in the worship of Krishna without deviation. The Lord is all pervading by the expansion of his partial representation, the super soul, who enters into everything that is. Pure devotees, therefore, concentrate their minds in Krishna consciousness in full devotional service. Therefore, they are always situated in a transcendental position. Devotional service and worship of Krishna are very clearly indicated in this chapter in verses 8 through 11. That is the way of pure devotional service. How one can attain the highest devotional perfection of association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been thoroughly explained in this chapter. Okay, now this is an important point. It is the Supreme Lord who has pervaded over everything that exists, and he controls them. Just like, for instance, actually Vallabhacharya gives an example. He says, just like, consider the Ganga. Ganga is a river as known to human beings, and the demigods know Ganga to be both a river and the presiding deity of that river, Ganga Devi. So you have Ganga Nadi, you have the river Ganga, and then you have the deity Ganga, the presiding deity Ganga. Both of them are equated in the scriptures. Obviously, the deity is more than just a river. Then why is she equated with the river? It is because she has the special potency to pervade through the river and control that river. So in the Vedic scriptures, to be able to pervade and control is the very essence of being the controller of that. That is the meaning of presiding deity. We often talk about presiding deities, the presiding deity of earth, water, fire, air, ether. We will come across this in Srimad Bhagavatam. But a presiding deity has the ability to pervade over specific uh, portions of material existence and control them. For instance, if you um, take a little bit of Ganga water and following the scriptural procedures, if you worship that Ganga water, then that worship is directly accepted by the Ganga deity. That is because she has the ability to pervade over her waters. She has her ability to be present everywhere. That is the meaning of a presiding deity. Now, uh, if you consider the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, these demigods can pervade over specific portions of material existence. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, he can pervade over everything. So just because you pervade over something doesn't mean that you don't have an individuality. You possess an individuality, just like Surya, the deity sun, pervades over the planet sun. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead pervades all over material existence, and still he has his individuality. So you have the deity and you have the substance. The substance Ganga referring to river Ganga. And then you have the deity Ganga, Ganga Devi. Similarly, you have Chandra referring to the deity named Chandra who presides over the moon planet, which is an item of material existence. And they are generally referred to as being the same. So it is in this sense that Krishna keeps saying, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. Just like when Ganga Devi says, such and such a person came and bathed in me, it is not wrong. But we cannot misunderstand this to mean that such and such a person went to the heavenly planets where Ganga Devi resides and directly touched her. No, that is not what is meant. It means that this person has taken bath in Ganga river, the river Ganga, and she is identifying herself with that by dint of her superior potency of opulence, her opulence of pervasion and control. So it is in this sense that everything in material existence is pervaded by the Supreme Lord Narayan, and it is controlled by Lord Narayan. Okay. From Lord Krishna's potent energy, even the powerful sun gets its power, and by Krishna's partial expansion, the whole world is maintained. Therefore, Lord Sri Krishna is worshipable. Any questions so far? Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes that Lord Krishna's devotees, having understood the truth of Krishna's opulences, obtain knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and along with pure devotional service, should worship the Supreme Lord in the form of Sri Krishna. In this chapter, texts 8, 9, 10, 11 describe pure devotional service and the result of such pure devotional service. Worship of Sri Krishna, who is the source of all these opulences, is what leads one to love for Krishna, which is the eternal nature of the living entities. This is the extracted essence of this chapter. Okay, we'll move on. Before we get into this, एकादशे विश्वरूपं विलोक्य प्रस्तुतिः स्तुवन् दर्शयित्वा स्वकं रूपं हरिणा हर्षितोऽर्जुन. Acharya Baladev Vidyabhushan explains that in the 11th chapter, Arjuna first saw the universal form, and then his mind and intelligence became frightened. Then he offered prayers to the Supreme Lord Hari. Having seen Lord Hari's original form, Arjuna became delighted. Arjuna Vachi Tadanugrahaya Paravam Mukhyam Adhyatma Sangeetam Yat Vayoktam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. Arjuna said, by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential subjects, spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled. This chapter reveals Krishna as the cause of all causes. He is even the cause of the Mahavishnu, from whom the material universes emanate. Krishna is not an incarnation. He is the source of all incarnations. That has been completely explained in the last chapter. So that will be brought out graphically in this chapter. Arjuna said, just to show me favor, you have spoken to me words regarding the supreme confidential subject in the matter of spirituality. And by that, my illusion has been removed. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he says that his illusion is over. This means that Arjuna no longer thinks of Krishna as a mere human being, as a friend of his, but as a source of everything. Arjuna is very enlightened and is glad that he has such a great friend as Krishna. But now he is thinking that although he may accept Krishna as a source of everything, others may not. So in order to establish Krishna's divinity for all, he is requesting Krishna in this chapter to show his universal form. Actually, when one sees the universal form of Krishna, one becomes frightened like Arjuna. But Krishna is so kind that after showing it, he converts himself again into his original form. Arjuna agrees to what Krishna has several times said. Krishna is speaking to him for his benefit. So Arjuna acknowledges that all this is happening to him by Krishna's grace. He is now convinced that Krishna is the cause of all causes and is present in everyone's heart as a super soul. Previously, in the introduction to a description of Krishna's opulences, Lord Krishna said, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarvabhutashaya Stitaha. I am the super soul Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. And then at the end of the description of the opulences, he said, by a single fragment of myself, I pervade over this entire universe. This is the last verse of chapter 10. So, in both of these descriptions, Krishna had spoken about the creator of the Mahatattva, the shelter of all these opulences, Krishna's incarnation, the Purusha. Specifically, we are talking of Mahavishnu. However, Lord Krishna is the source of even this Mahavishnu. Understanding this, Arjuna is delighted and is drowning in an ocean of the bliss of spiritual friendship. Now he is desirous of seeing that Mahavishnu form as the controller of material existence. So he is saying that you have spoken to me about these opulences, which are controlled by that super soul. And by your speech, my delusion has gone away. Adhyatma Sangita refers to knowledge of the super soul form of the Supreme Lord. Now we should remember that Krishna has three super soul teachers. One is the super soul of the entire material existence. One is the super soul of each universe, and the other is the individual super soul. Bhavapi yohi bhutanam shruto vistarasho maya tattah kamalapatraksha mahatmyam apichavyayam. O Lotus side 1, I've heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity, and I've realized your inexhaustible glories. In detail, O Lotus side 1, from you, the appearance and disappearance of all living entities has been heard. And also, your inexhaustible glories has been heard. On Lotus side 1, Acharya Baladev Vidyabhushan. Your eyes are long and red like the petals of a lotus. That is the meaning of lotus petal eye. Because of Arjuna's excessive love for Krishna, therefore he is able to point out Krishna's excessive beauty also. Because of you, the living creatures undergo appearance and disappearance, which means creation and dissolution. This I have heard in great detail. Aham Krishnasya Jagatah Prabhavah Pralayas Tatha. I've also heard about your greatness, which means your eternal opulence. Even though you are the creator of everything, you are not transformed. Even though you are the controller of everything, you are not influenced by that which you are controlling. So this has been heard in great detail. In the 7th chapter, these are subjects of the 7th chapter. Maya tata midam sarvam. Sorry, 9th chapter, not 7th chapter. Maya tata midam sarvam is the 9th chapter. Arjuna addresses Lord Krishna as lotus eyes. Krishna's eyes appear just like the petals of a lotus flower. Out of his joy, what Krishna is assured in the previous chapter, and the source of the appearance and disappearance of this entire material manifestation. Arjuna has heard of this from the Lord in detail. Arjuna further knows that in spite of his being the source of all appearances and disappearances, he is aloof from them, as the Lord has said in the 9th chapter. He is all pervading, yet he is not personally present everywhere. That is the inconceivable opulence of Krishna, which Arjuna admits that he has thoroughly understood. एवम् एतद् यथार्थत्वम् आत्मानं परमेश्वरं द्रष्टुमिच्छामि ते रूपम् ऐश्वरं पुरुषोत्तमम्. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. O Supreme Lord, I wish to see yourself as you have spoken, that divine form, O best of personalities. I wish to see that. In other words, Arjuna wants to see Krishna's form of control. How does he control material existence? This is referring to his Mahavishnu form. Krishna controls material existence in his first Purusha incarnation, in the form of his first Purusha incarnation, Karanodakashayi Vishnu. Ishtabhyaham idam ityadina yatha tam atmanam swamartha ravishi. I don't have even the slightest doubt that in the form of an expansion, you pervade over material existence. But still, I'm curious. I'm curious to see. See, Arjuna doesn't want to see because he doubts whether Krishna is actually controlling material existence. It is not that he has some doubt. He doesn't want to verify. Rather, it is out of curiosity that he wants to see. Out of curiosity, he wants to see that form by which he controls and disciplines everything in material existence. By referring to the Supreme Lord as Parameshwara Purushottama. Parameshwara means O Supreme Lord. Purushottama means O Supreme Person. He indicates that Krishna certainly knows his own desire. So he hints that Lord Krishna should fulfill this desire. Now, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has made a point which Acharya Baladev Vidyabhushan brings up here. Let's see. Okay, you come on to later. But Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan makes a point that for a person who is used to seeing the spiritually sweet Sachidananda form of Krishna, he requires some assistance from Lord Krishna in order to perceive the form by which the Supreme Lord controls material existence. That too, he wants to see how that Mahavishnu has entered into material existence and is controlling material existence. So then what you would see would be a combination of this universe and Lord Vishnu inside that universe, which is the universal form. So Acharya Baladev Vidyabhushan says, just like a tongue which is used to relishing sweets will not naturally be able to relish something which is bitter without some help. So it is the situation here. That is why he is asking Can you please help me see this? The Lord said that because he entered into the material universe by his personal representation, the cosmic manifestation has been made possible and is going on. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he is inspired by the statements of Krishna, but in order to convince others in the future who may think that Krishna is an ordinary person, Arjuna desires to see him actually in his universal form, to see how he is acting from within the universe, although he is apart from it. Arjuna's addressing the Lord as Purushottama is also significant, since the Lord is the Supreme Personality of God and he is present within Arjuna himself. Therefore, he knows the desire of Arjuna, and he can understand that Arjuna has no special desire to see him in his universal form, for Arjuna is completely satisfied to see him in his personal form of Krishna. But the Lord can understand also that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to convince others. Arjuna did not have any personal desire for confirmation. Krishna also understands that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to set a criterion. For in the future, there would be so many impostors who would pose themselves as incarnations of God. The people, therefore, should be careful. One who claims to be Krishna should be prepared to show his universal form to confirm his claim to the people. Manyase yaditat shakyam maya drashtumiti prabho yogeshwara tato me tvam darshayat manamavyayam. If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self. If you think that, O Lord of all mystic powers, that form can be seen by me, then please show that form of yourself, your eternal self. He begs for the Supreme Lord's permission to be enabled to perceive his material opulence. If you desire to show me, O Lord means O Lord of everyone. He refers to the Supreme Lord as Yogeshwara. The idea is that I am ineligible to see that form, but by your potency, it would be possible for me to see that form. So please bless me. The Bhakti-sastri Thakur has commented, the living entity is a minute conscious being. Therefore, all of the activities of the Almighty or the infinite conscious being cannot be perceived by the living entity. And I am that type of a jiva. I am under the control of your blessings. This feature of yours, controlling feature of yours, is beyond the thought, beyond the ability, beyond the thinking jurisdiction of the living entity. And because you are the Yogeshwara, the Lord of all mystic powers, you are my Lord. By your inconceivable potencies, please show me your opulences. Arjuna could understand that for a living entity, it is not possible to understand the unlimited infinite. If the infinite reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite by the grace of the infinite. If he likes, he can reveal himself by his grace, although he is unlimited. Therefore, Arjuna pleads for the inconceivable grace of Krishna. He does not give Krishna orders. Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrenders fully in Krishna consciousness and engages in devotional service. Thus, it is not possible for persons to depend on the strength of their mental speculations to see Krishna. Okay, any questions so far? Arjuna is a pure devotee of Krishna and would be attached to his personal Shyamasundara form. Then why does he long to see the universal form when he's already seen Krishna? Two reasons. One reason is his curiosity. The second reason is in order to establish a criterion for others in Kali Yuga. The Lord can understand also that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to convince others. Arjuna did not have any personal desire for confirmation. Then from Acharya Baladev Vidyabhushan also we understand that he was curious. It is natural that mm, that you want to see that which is possessed by someone who is very dear to you. So since the Supreme Lord possesses material existence and he has also expanded himself and entered into that, and he is controlling the universe through that form, it is natural that Arjuna developed a curiosity to see that form. He's not just desiring to see the super soul of material existence or the super soul of the universe. He wants to see how the Supreme Lord is controlling material nature from within. So therefore Krishna is not going to show that. Otherwise he would have just shown one form. That's all. Finished. He's not doing that. He's showing, he's going to display how he's controlling. And how he does that is he's going to first of all show the entire universe, and he is going to show how it is being destroyed by the force of time. From creation to maintenance to destruction, Lord Vishnu uses the force of time to move it from creation to maintenance to destruction. So this is in fact how he deals with material nature. This will become clear. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Pashchime Parsarupani Shatasho Sahasrasha. Nana Vidhani Divyani Nana Varna Kritini Cha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, O son of Pratha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of varied, divine and multicolored forms. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out that he had decided, Lord Krishna had decided that first of all he is going to show the form of the super soul of material nature first, and then he is going to reveal how he himself is the controlling deity of time. So he is going to reveal first of all this universal form, and then show how everything is decaying by his will. In order to, Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan says that in order to show this form, he has to first of all make Arjuna qualified to see what the demigods see, because this form can only be seen by the demigod. It cannot be seen by human beings. Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in his universal form, which although a transcendental form is just manifested for the cosmic manifestation and is therefore subject to the temporary time of this material nature. As the material nature is manifested and not manifested, similarly this universal form of Krishna is manifested and non-manifested. It is not eternally situated in the spiritual sky like Krishna's other forms. As far as a devotee is concerned, he is not eager to see the universal form, but because Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in this way, Krishna reveals this form. This universal form is not possible to be seen by any ordinary man. Krishna must give one the power to see it. And these are all elements of material existence. And right now, because Krishna is going to show that form by which he is controlling everything in material existence, he is revealing all of these aspects of material existence. Pashyadityan Vasunrudran Ashwino Marutas Tatha Bahunya Drishta Purvani Pashyashchar Yani Bharata, the best of the Bharatas. See here the different manifestations of Aditya, Vasu, Rudra, Ashwini Kumara, and all the other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before. Even though Arjuna was a personal friend of Krishna and the most advanced of learned men, it was still not possible for him to know everything about Krishna. Here it is stated that humans have neither heard nor known of all these forms and manifestations. Now Krishna reveals these wonderful forms. Dhaikastham Jagatkritznam Pashyaditya Characharam Mama Dehe Gudakeshe Yat Chan Yat Drashtumikshasi. O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything moving and non-moving is here completely in one place. The entire universe can be seen in my body together. You do not need to spend thousands and millions of years traveling all over the universe in order to see. But even that which cannot be seen by such travel can be seen now, all in one place. How is it possible? It is possible by my mercy. Look at this form. In fact, not just all of these aspects of the universe, the very shelter of this universe, which is Pradhana, Mahatattva, and so on. In other words, we learn from the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that there are certain ingredients of material existence, elements, Pradhana, Mahatattva, false ego, and so on. They are transformed into the universe. You can also see those ingredient causes. Apart from that, you can also see your own victory and the defeat of your opponents. All of that also can be seen. Everything I'm going to show you. No one can see the entire universe while sitting in one place. Even the most advanced scientists cannot see what is going on in other parts of the universe. But a devotee like Arjuna can see everything that exists in any part of the universe. Krishna gives him the power to see anything he wants to see, past, present, and future. Thus, by the mercy of Krishna, Arjuna is able to see everything. Now here, very interesting discussion. Cosmography and astronomy. From section 2, which talks about beautiful form. Read out some of again it got cut. Can anyone hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
What was the last thing what was the last thing you heard me say? Okay, did you see this?
No.
This?
No. It was Bhagavad-gita.
Yes, it was Bhagavad-gita. Then I wanted to explain this particular um, text. This and
Yes.
this. And so I wanted to have a discussion about the universal form, which I wanted to take it out from here, but I'm not able to spot it right now. Okay. Okay, let me read out this part. Arjuna's vision of Krishna's universal form on the battlefield of Kurukshetra is another example of Krishna expanding the sensory powers of a living being and giving him access to regions of the universe previously unknown to him. Thus, from one place, Arjuna was able to see many different realms occupied by demigods and other kinds of living beings. To perceive such a vast variety of scenes simultaneously, Arjuna clearly had to transcend the limitations of three-dimensional space. And it is significant that Krishna made this possible through the medium of his all-pervading universal form. The story of Mother Yashoda seeing the entire universe, including herself and Krishna within Krishna's mouth, is another example, showing that Krishna can reveal all locations through his all-encompassing form. Okay, so the basic idea is that Arjuna is going to be shown something which human beings are not allowed to see. He will be shown what the demigods perceive. Natu mam shakyase drashtum anenaiva swachakshusha divyam dadami te chakshuh pashya me yogamaishwaram. But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. Let me see if I can. Okay, here it is. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He notes that this is not an illusory form. Arjuna should not mistakenly think that this is an illusory form that he is showing him. Rather, it is his own form, which is present within material existence. It is present within material existence. And it is beyond the sensory perception of the living being. In order to make him understand this, he speaks this verse. You cannot see my spiritual form using your material eyes. Therefore, you need to see this with transcendental eyes. This is because Arjuna is an associate of the Supreme Lord. He is also an incarnation of Nara. We know about the sage Nara Narayana. There are two sages. One of them is named Narayana and the other is named Nara. And throughout the Mahabharata, Arjuna is referred to as an incarnation of that sage Nara, who accompanied Narayana. So from that we understand that Arjuna is not just some materialistic person, but he is playing the role of a human being. So now here the question may arise, under these circumstances, how can you say that he requires to be given divine eyes? Some authorities explain that he cannot handle because Arjuna is an associate of Lord Krishna who is participating in human-like pastimes, he requires a special uh, visual faculty with which he can perceive the Supreme Lord in his divine pastimes. Divine meaning demigod-like pastimes. Just as the tongue, which is used to relishing sugar candy, cannot relish um, raw jaggery. So like that, Arjuna is used to perceiving the Supreme Lord's spiritual human-like form, whereas the Mahavishnu form is suitable for meditation by the demigods and hence is demigod-like. Now, because human beings require special, they cannot perceive what the demigods perceive. So therefore, Arjuna is being given divine eyes, the sort of eyes which are required in order to perceive the Supreme Lord's demigod-like form, or rather the form which demigods perceive. A pure devotee does not like to see Krishna in any form except his form with two hands. A devotee must see his universal form by his grace, not with the mind, but with spiritual eyes. To see the universal form of Krishna, Arjuna is told not to change his mind but his vision. The universal form of Krishna is not very important. That will be clear in subsequent verses. Yet, because Arjuna wanted to see it, the Lord gives him the particular vision required to see that universal form. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has commented in this regard that there is human vision, human perception, there is demigod perception, and there is spiritual perception. Now, Arjuna, it is not that Arjuna is an ordinary human being who is being upgraded with demigod perception. Rather, he is situated on the spiritual platform, and right now, in order to see that form of the Supreme Lord as a super soul of material nature, his perception has to be downgraded. He has to be given a lower level visual faculty with which he can see. This is an important point because generally casual readers of Bhagavad-gita think that Arjuna is being upgraded in his visual faculty right now. In reality, it's the other way around. The basic evidence that the form of the Vishwarupa, the universal form, is not the ultimate is clear. That evidence you will find throughout Srimad Bhagavatam. For instance, here we have an example of all those who are situated in Sakhya Rasa. Now notice that Arjuna is also in Sakhya Rasa. And those in Sakhya Rasa, they perceive the Supreme Lord in a much higher manner. Ittham satam brahma sukhanubhutya dasyam gatanam paradaivatena mayashvitanam naradarakena sakam vijahruh kritapunya punya. Here is the Supreme Person who is considered the impersonal Brahman by great sages, the Supreme Personality of God by devotees, and a product of material nature by ordinary men. Now these boys who have performed many pious activities in their past lives are playing with that Supreme Personality of God. So from this it is very clear that those who are in friendship with the Supreme Lord are very great souls because they have accumulated a lot of pious credits in their past. Otherwise, Shukadeva Goswami would not glorify them. So Arjuna is in this position, and therefore Arjuna is naturally not very interested in personally seeing the universal form. Only after Lord Krishna has spoken about how he is present through a single fragment of himself and he is controlling and pervading this universe, only then Arjuna is asking for it. Otherwise, Arjuna would have asked for it long time back. He did not ask for it. So this is very clear evidence that Arjuna was just circumstantially curious. The fact is that the devotee is not concerned with seeing the Vishwarupa, the universal form, but Arjuna wanted to see it to substantiate Krishna's statement so that in the future people could understand that Krishna not only theoretically or philosophically presented himself as a supreme, but actually presented himself as such to Arjuna. Arjuna must confirm this because Arjuna is the beginning of the Parampara system. Those who are actually interested in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna and who follow in the footsteps of Arjuna should understand that Krishna not only theoretically presented himself as a supreme, but actually revealed himself as a supreme. The Lord gave Arjuna the necessary power to see his universal form because he knew that Arjuna did not particularly want to see it, as we have already explained. We will take a break now and we will reassemble after 10 minutes. Okay. Gopal Ganasha goes there. And the Priyamata is there. Gopal Ganasha is there. Okay, let's continue. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has commented that the divine vision here, the divine eyes that Krishna is talking of here, he's telling Arjuna, I'll give you divine eyes. That is not fully spiritual, nor is it grossly material. It is material, but it is not gross. In other words, what the demigods can perceive, that is celestial. So we are talking about celestial vision. Okay, let's continue. Up to 44. Okay. Sanjay Vacha. एवं मुक्त्वा ततो राजन् महायोगेश्वरो हरिः दर्शयामास पार्थाय परमं रूपमैश्वरम्. Sanjay said, O king, having spoken thus, the supreme lord of all mystic form, the personality of God, has displayed his universal form to Arjuna. He showed the universal form. He showed that form by which he is controlling the universe from within. अनेक वक्त्रनयनम अनेकाद्भुत दर्शनम अनेक दिव्याभरणम दिव्यानेकोद्यता युद्धम दिव्यमाल्यां वरधरम दिव्यगंधानुलेपनम सर्वाश्चर्यमयं देवम अनंतं विश्वतोमुखम. Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding. And here, notice how many times he says Aneka. Aneka means many, 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 various. Many refers to unlimited. These manifestations were distributed throughout the universe, but by the grace of the Lord, Arjuna could see them while sitting in one place. That was due to the inconceivable potency of Krishna. Devi Surya Sahasrasya Bhaved Yugavadutthita Yadi Bhasadrishi Sa Syad Bhasastasya Mahatmanaha. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. What Arjuna saw was indescribable, yet Sanjay is trying to give a mental picture of that great revelation to Dhritarashtra. Neither Sanjay nor Dhritarashtra was present, but Sanjay, by the grace of Vyasa, could see whatever happened. Thus, he now compares the situation as far as it can be understood to an imaginable phenomenon. It is thousands of suns. Okay. त्रैकस्थं जगत्कृत्स्नं प्रविभक्तमनेकधा अपश्यत् देवदेवस्य शरीरे पाण्डवस्तदा. At that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands. In Krishna's body, he had revealed the form of the thousand-headed Mahavishnu, right in the middle of the place of war. So Arjuna could see the entire universe in Krishna's body. That body, when the body refers to that particular form. The word Tatra there is very significant. It indicates that both Arjuna and Krishna were sitting on the chariot when Arjuna saw the universal form. Others on the battlefield could not see this form because Krishna gave the vision only to Arjuna. Arjuna could see in the body of Krishna many thousands of planets. As we learn from Vedic scriptures, there are many universes and many planets. Some of them are made of earth, some are made of gold, some are made of jewels, some are very great, some are not so great, etc. Sitting on his chariot, Arjuna could see all these, but no one could understand what was going on between Arjuna and Krishna. Tatasya Vishnaya Rishtaroma Dhananjaya Pranamya Shirasa Devam Kritanjalara Bhashata. And bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances, and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord. Arjuna knows the truth about Lord Krishna, but now seeing the feature of the thousand-headed Mahavishnu displayed by Lord Krishna, he was overcome by the rasa of wonder. Once the divine vision is revealed, the relationship between Krishna and Arjuna changes immediately. Before, Krishna and Arjuna had a relationship based on friendship. But here, after the revelation, Arjuna is offering obeisances with great respect, and with folded hands, he is praying to Krishna. He is praising the universal form. Thus, Arjuna's relationship becomes one of wonder rather than friendship. Great devotees see Krishna as a reservoir of all relationships. In the scriptures, there are 12 basic kinds of relationships mentioned, and all of them are present in Krishna. It is said that he is the ocean of all relationships exchanged between two living entities, between the gods, or between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Here, Arjuna is inspired by the relationship of wonder. Okay, now what is this? Okay, to give you an idea of what this is, let's look at. Okay, we know that there are 5 primary rasas. There is Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhura. Besides these 5 primary rasas, there are 7 secondary rasas, which consist of laughing, wonder, chivalry, pity, anger, ghastliness, and devastation. For example, Bhishma related to Krishna as a warrior in the chivalrous rasa. Hiranyakashipu power experienced an exchange with the ghastly and devastating rasas. The 5 primary rasas constantly remain within the heart of the pure devotee, and the 7 secondary rasas sometimes appear and disappear to enrich the flavors and tastes of the primary ones. After enriching the primary rasas, they disappear. So right now, that's what is happening to Arjuna. He is currently enriched by the rasa of wonder. one of the 7 secondary rasas. Here Arjuna was inspired by the relationship of wonder. And in that wonder, although he was by nature very sober, calm, and quiet, he became ecstatic. His hair stood up, and he began to offer his obeisance unto the Supreme Lord with folded hands. He was not, of course, afraid. He was affected by the wonders of the Supreme Lord. The immediate context is wonder. His natural loving friendship was overwhelmed by wonder, and thus he reacted in this way. We want to see it in further detail. Here. Astonishment. Here's a description by, this is Prabhupada's summary of Rupa Goswami's description of the rasa of wonder, astonishment. The ecstasy of astonishment and devotion service is perceived in 2 ways. Directly by the experience of one's own eyes and indirectly by hearing from others. Okay, this is very interesting. When Narada came to see the activities of the Lord at Dwaraka, he saw that Krishna was present in every palace in the same body and was engaged in different activities. He was struck with wonder. This is one of the examples of astonishment in devotion service by direct perception. One of the friends of Mother Yashoda said, this is another example. Yashoda, just see the fun. On the one hand, that is your child is always captivated by sucking the milk from your breast. On the other hand, that is the great Govardhan hill, which can obstruct the passing of the clouds. But still, just see how wonderful it is that this great Govardhan hill is resting on the finger of your child's left hand, just as though it were a toy. Is this not very mysterious? This statement is another example of astonishment in devotion service by direct perception. An instance of astonishment in devotion service by indirect perception, that means by hearing from others, occurred when Maharaj Parikshit heard from Shukadeva Goswami about Krishna's killing Narakasura, who had been fighting Krishna with 11 Akshauhini divisions of soldiers. Each division of Akshauhini soldiers contained several thousand elephants, several thousand horses and chariots, and several hundreds of thousands of infantry soldiers. Narakasura possessed 11 such divisions, and all of them were throwing arrows toward Krishna, but Krishna killed them all simply by throwing 3 arrows from his side. When Maharaj Parikshit heard of this wonderful victory, he immediately rubbed the tears from his eyes and became overwhelmed with joy. This instance is an example of astonishment in devotion service by indirect perception through oral reception, hearing. There is another example of indirect astonishment. Trying to test Krishna to see if he were truly the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Brahma stole all the cowherd boys and cows from him. But after a few seconds, he saw that Krishna was still present with all the cows, calves, and cowherd boys exactly in the same way as before. When Lord Brahma described this incident to his associates on the Satyaloka planet, they all became astonished. Brahma told them that after taking away all the boys, he saw Krishna again playing with the same boys in the same fashion. Their bodily complexion was blackish, almost like Krishna's, and they all had 4 arms. The same calves and cows were still present there in the same original fashion. Even while describing this incident, Brahma became almost overwhelmed, and the most astonishing thing he added was that many other Brahmas from many different universes had also come there to worship Krishna and his associates. Another instance. Similarly, when there was a forest fire in the Bhandiravan, Krishna instructed his friends to close their eyes tightly, and they all did this. Then when Krishna had extinguished the fire, the cowherd boys opened their eyes and saw that they had been relieved from the danger, and that their cows and calves were all safe. They began to perceive the wonder of the situation simply by guessing how Krishna had saved them. This is another instance of indirect perception causing astonishment in devotion service. The activities of a person, even if they are not very extraordinary, create an impression of wonder in the heart and mind of the person's friends. But even very wonderful activities performed by a person who is not one's friend will not create any impression. It is because of love that one's wonderful activities create an impression in the mind. So that is a brief description of wonder. Adbhuta rasa. Arjuna Vacha. These are prayers. Pashyami devam stava deva dehe sarvam satha bhuta vishesha sankhan brahmanamisham kamalasanastham rishimsha sarvan nuragamsha divyan. Arjuna said, my dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all the sages and divine serpents. So notice that the various Vedic deities, they are all in this form that Krishna is showing. You will not find Krishna himself described as being dependent on him, but you will find that Brahma is described, Shiva is described, various sages, divine serpents, demigods, and other living entities. They're all described as being in his body, which means they are under his control. That's what it means. Arjuna sees everything in the universe. Therefore, he sees Brahma, who is the first creature in the universe, and the celestial serpent upon which the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu lies in the lower regions of the universe. The snake bed is called Vasuki. There are also other snakes known as Vasuki. Arjuna can see from the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu up to the topmost part of the universe on the lotus flower planet, where Brahma, the first creature of the universe, resides. That means that from the beginning to the end, everything could be seen by Arjuna was sitting in one place on his chariot. This was possible by the grace of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Anekabahu daravaktra netram pashyami tvam sarvato nantarupam nantam na madhyam na punastavadim pashyami vishveshwara vishwarupa. O Lord of the universe, or universe of form, I see in your body many, many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes, expanded everywhere without limit. I see in you no end, no middle, and no beginning. Here also many refers to not just lot, it means unlimited. Ananta. Aneka here means many, but literally it cannot be taken to simply mean a limited number of men. It is unlimited. Kirinam gadinam chakrinam cha tejo rashim sarvato diptimantam pashyami tvam durniliksham samantan dita nalarkadyatim prameyam. Your form is difficult to see because of its glaring effulgence, spreading on all sides like blazing fire or the immeasurable radiance of the sun. Yet I see this glowing form everywhere, adorned with various crowns, clubs, and discs. Tvaksharam paramam veditavyam tvamasya vishwasya param nidhanam tvavyaya shashvata dharma gopta sanatanastvam purusho mato me. You are the supreme, primal objective. You are the ultimate resting place of all this universe. You are inexhaustible, and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. This is my opinion. Okay, wait. Let me nice words. So let me look at the Acharya definition for this. This is text number 18. Thank you. Because Arjuna saw Lord Krishna's inconceivable opulence, I have concluded that this is what you are. You are that absolute truth which can be known through the teachings of the Upanishads, through the Vedanta. You are that truth, the husband of the goddess of fortune, the supreme shelter. You are indestructible. You are the protector of the eternal religion, which means you are the maintainer of dharma propounded in the Vedas. This is all stated in, these are all described in the Upanishadic mantras. So we have a question here. Snakes are considered not auspicious and envious. Why does the Ananta Shesha also manifest in the snake form? Is there any significance? Ananta Shesha is not inauspicious. Other snakes may be inauspicious, but Ananta Shesha is not. Why does Ananta Shesha? Well, in the spiritual world, Lord Narayan, he sleeps on a snake bed. Nobody is afraid of Ananta Shesha. But in the spiritual world, there's no, it is not at all like the material world. Is there any significance why Ananta Shesha is manifested in snake form? I do not know. I think Ananta Shesha's eternal form is that of a snake. I think we should not apply material conceptions on spiritual objects. Anything spiritual. That's one statement. One should not try to measure or try to understand anything spiritual through our material conceptions. Okay, let's continue. Anadimadhyantam anantaviryam anantabahum shashi surya netram pashyami tvam deepta hutashavatram swattejasa vishwamidam tapantam. You are without origin, middle or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and moon are your eyes. I see you with blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance. This has already been described. Why is he saying this again? He's saying this again because he is in a state of wonder. That is one reason. Another reason is because it is the glory of the Supreme Lord. The glory of the Supreme Lord, the more you repeat, it is better. Generally, repetition is considered to be the literary defect known as redundance. Paunarukti. Punarukti. Punarukti. To repeat something is considered a literary weakness. Here and in many other places there is repetition, but according to the scriptures, the repetition of the glories of Krishna is not a literary weakness. It is said that at a time of bewilderment or wonder or of great ecstasy, statements are repeated over and over. That is not a flaw. Vyavya prithivyo ridamantaram hi vyaptam vayayikena dishascha sarva drishtva bhuttam rupamugram tavedam lokatrayam pravyatitham mahatman. Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between, O Great One. Seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. Srila Baladev Bhushan has commented that from now onwards, because it is useful for the current discussion, the Supreme Lord manifests this very form as being the form of time in 10 verses, beginning with Dhyav. So from now onwards, it is a description of time. Vyavya Prithivyo, the space between heaven and earth, and Lokatrayam, three words are significant words in this verse because it appears that not only did Arjuna see this universal form of the Lord, but others in other planetary systems saw it also. Arjuna's seeing of the universal form was not a dream. All whom the Lord endowed with divine vision saw the universal form on the battlefield. The universal form can be seen by the demigods, but It cannot be seen by human beings. In fact, the demigods very much like to worship Lord Vishnu in the form of this universal form. They recite the Purusha Sutta prayers and then they glorify the universal form. Amishitvam surasangha vishanti kechid bhita pranjalayo grinanti swastityaktva maharshi siddha sangha stuvanti tvam stutibhi pushkalabhi. All the hosts of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them very much afraid are offering prayers with folded hands. Hosts of great sages and perfected beings crying, all these are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns. The demigods in all the planetary systems feared the terrific manifestation of the universal form and its glaring effulgence, and so prayed for protection. This is actually the feature of time. It is the nature of time to destroy. Everything in material existence will be destroyed. I might have shown this before. Okay. Here are some verses from Bhagavad-gita which describe the nature of time. Time is that which keeps things moving. Time is it's an active entity. It is not a passive parameter that you notice in a clock. This is Lord Kapila speaking. I have explained to you well how eternal time is chasing the living entities, although it is imperceptible to them. As a mass of clouds does not know the powerful influence of the wind, a person engaged in material consciousness does not know the powerful strength of the time factor by which he is carried. Again, notice here the time factor is compared to the wind, and the person in material consciousness is compared to a mass of clouds. Just as wind moves clouds, time moves people from material state. The influence of the Supreme Personality of God is felt as a time factor. Eternal time is the primeval source of the interactions of the three modes of material nature. It is unchangeable and limitless, and it works for his pastimes or activities in the material creation. This is Prabhupada. This is actually Prabhupada's disciples' purport. 11th chapter. Most probably it is based on Bhakti-sastri with others. Comments. The material process of cause and effect takes place entirely within a sequence of time. In other words, the time factor is the motivating impetus for material cause and effect. This time factor is a manifestation of the Super Soul, the form of the Supreme Lord that pervades and supports the cosmic manifestation. So, this is that feature of time. Demigods, they take shelter of you. Some of them are frightened, and from a distance they stand with folded hands. They pray, "Oh Lord, please protect us, please protect us." With great fear, the great sages, as well as the perfected souls, they pray, saying, "Let there be auspiciousness to the entire universe." Rudraditya vasavo ye cha sadhya vishveshvino marutaschoshmapaschat gandharva yaksha surasiddha sankha Vikshante Tvam Vismitasyaiva Sarve. All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Vishwadevas, the two Ashvis, the Maruts, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, and other perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder. Notice that all of these, all of them, they are superhuman beings. You won't find any human being here because they are the ones who are capable of seeing the universal form. Rupam Mahatte Bahuvatra Netram Mahabaho Bahubahurupadam Bahudaram Bahuddam Shrakaralam Drishtva Loka Pravjatitas Tathaham. O mighty am one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I. Navasprishamditam manekavarnam Vyatananam Vita Vishala Netram Dikva Hitvam Pravyatitantaratma Dhritim Vindami Shamam Cha Vishnu. All pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colors touching the sky, your gaping mouths, and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind. Arjuna is now expressing fear. That he is referring to Lord Vishnu. That notice that is referring to Lord Vishnu, is praying to Lord Vishnu. This confirms that Krishna is revealing his Vishnu form to me, Mahavishnu form. Damshrakaralan chate mukhani drishtva kala nalasannibhani disho na jane na labhe cha sharma prasid devesha jagannivasa. Lord of Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance. Seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth, in all directions I am bewildered. He's perceiving the effects of time. Therefore, he's really frightened. Amchatvam dhritarashtrasya putra sarve sahaiva vanipala sankhe Bhishmo drona suta putras tathasau sahasmadiyai yodha mukhyai Vakrani te tvaramana vishanti tamshra karalani bhayanakani Kechid vilagnat dashanantareshu sandrishyante churnitairuttamangai. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings, and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers also, are rushing into your fearful mouths. And some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth. Lord Krishna had stated earlier that whatever else you may wish to see, I'm going to show you. So right now he is showing his future victory, defeat, and so on. Look at all of that now. In 5 verses, he is going to describe them. In a previous verse, the Lord promised to show Arjuna things he would be very interested in seeing. Now Arjuna sees that the leaders of the opposite party, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and all the sons of Dhritarashtra, and their soldiers, and Arjuna's own soldiers, are all being annihilated. This is an indication that after the death of nearly all the persons assembled at Kurukshetra, Arjuna will emerge victorious. It is also mentioned here that Bhishma, who is supposed to be unconquerable, will also be smashed. so also Karna. Not only will the great warriors of the other party like Bhishma be smashed, but some of the great warriors of Arjuna's side also, our chief soldiers also, they're all rushing into your fearful mouths. In other words, everything is going to be swallowed by the force of time. The force of time refers to the force of death. Death chases everyone. Everybody is going to die in material existence. No exceptions. यथा नदीनां बहवोऽम्बुवेगाः समुद्रमेवाभिमुखा द्रवन्ति तथा तवामी नरलोकवीराः विशन्ति पत्राण्यभिविज्वलन्ति. As the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouths. He gives an example, two examples in fact. First of all, he gives the example of those who are entering into the jaws of death unconsciously. And the second example will be of entering into the jaws of death consciously. So this is an example of entering into death unconsciously. Yatha pradiptam jwalanam patanga vishanti nashaya samruddha veda tathaiva nashaya vishanti lokas tavapi patrani samruddha veda. I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths as moths dash the destruction in a blazing fire. In the previous example, waves of the rivers flow into the ocean. They are not aware that they are going into the ocean. Similarly, these great warriors, they are entering into destruction, into death, unconsciously, not knowing. But some others, they are rushing into destruction with knowledge, just like moths, fireflies, which are very attractive to fire. samanta loka samagran vadanai jwaladhi tejobhirapurya jagat samagram bhasa tavogra pratapanti Vishnu. O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible, scorching rays. Again, he is referring to him as Vishnu. So not only do you destroy everyone, but you destroy everyone with impact. With anger, you're licking them, which means that with great anger, you're destroying them. So the implication is, since you are Vishnu, Vishnu means the all-pervading Lord. Since you are the all-pervading Lord, it is impossible to escape your influence. Akhyahimeko bhavanugra rupo namostu te deva vara prasida vidyatamichhami bhavantamadhyam nahi prajanami tava pravrityam. O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. You are the primal Lord. I want to know about you, for I do not know what your mission is. Having described the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of the universe, having revealed his potency of time, Arjuna, even though he knows the truth about all of this, in order to uh, attain firmness of his knowledge, inquires, "Who are you? You had shown your form, telling me that I had requested you that kindly show me your eternal um, self, and you had requested you to show that form, characterized by the form of the thousand-headed Mahavishnu. Now you are showing me a form which destroys everyone, which is very terrible. So who is this terrible formed one? Please tell me. Obeisances unto you. Please be satisfied with me. Please give up this terrible form." I'm specifically requesting you. I do not know what your endeavors are. Why are you doing all this? What is your purpose? Please tell me this. And having been asked thus, the Supreme Lord spoke the next text. 22. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Kalosmi lokakshaya krit pravriddho lokan samahartamiha pravritta. Yate tvam na bhavishyanti sarve yevastita pratyanikeshu yodha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain." The Supreme Lord said that I am time, and I am time, the destroyer of the worlds, the great destroyer of the worlds. What does great destroyer mean? Great destroyer means the all-pervading destroyer of the worlds. I pervade over everything. There's nothing which can escape me. We understand from the Shruti that time actually destroys everything in the universe. Everything is devoured like a meal by the Supreme Being in the form of time, and I am that time. And my mission is to swallow up all people, beginning with Duryodhana. Apart from you, meaning apart from you, Yudhishthira and others, none will remain, meaning none will be alive. Although Arjuna knew that Krishna was his friend and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was puzzled by the various forms exhibited by Krishna. Therefore, he asked further about the actual mission of this devastating force. It is written in the Vedas that the Supreme Truth destroys everything, even the Brahmanas, as stated in the Katha Upanishad. Yasya brahmacha kshatram cha ubhe bhavata odana mrityur yasyo vasechanam kaitha veda yatrasah. Eventually, all the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and everyone else are devoured like a meal by the Supreme. This form of the Supreme Lord is the all-devouring giant. And here Krishna presents himself in that form of all-devouring time, except for a few Pandavas. Everyone who was present on the battlefield would be devoured by him. Arjuna was not in favor of the fight, and he thought it was better not to fight. Then there would be no frustration. In reply, the Lord is saying that even if he did not fight, every one of them would be destroyed, for that was his plan. If Arjuna stopped fighting, they would die in another way. Death could not be checked even if he did not fight. In fact, they were already dead. Time is destruction, and all manifestations are to be vanquished by the desire of the Supreme Lord. That is the law of nature. Okay, are there any questions so far? It's been a long session. Okay, we will move on. तस्मात्त्वमुत्तिष्ठे यशोलभस्व जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्त्व राज्यं समृद्धम् मयैवैते निहताः पूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन्. Therefore get up, prepare to fight, and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Sabyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. Because this is the situation, therefore stand up. For the sake of carrying out your specific dharma in the Varnashrama system of war, you should fight and you should attain glory. You should attain fame. That persons such as Bhishma, who could not even be conquered by the demigods, have been very easily, sportingly destroyed by Arjuna. And when Draupadi was being offended in the past, at that very moment, I had destroyed them. For your glory, I had decided that they would be killed. That is the meaning. So therefore, you just become an instrument. Oh, Sabyasachi. Sabyasachi means a person who can throw arrows accurately even with the left hand. So easily you can win this war. That is the indication. Sabyasachi refers to one who can shoot arrows very expertly in the field. Thus, Arjuna is addressed as an expert warrior capable of delivering arrows to kill his enemies. Just become an instrument. Nimittamatram. This word is also very significant. The whole world is moving according to the plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Foolish persons who do not have sufficient knowledge think that nature is moving without a plan, and all manifestations are but accidental formations. There are many so-called scientists who suggest that perhaps it was like this or maybe like that. But there is no question of perhaps and maybe. There's a specific plan being carried out in this material world. What is this plan? This cosmic manifestation is a chance for the conditioned souls to go back to Godhead, back to home. As long as they have the domineering mentality which makes them try to lord it over material nature, they are conditioned. But anyone who can understand the plan of the Supreme Lord and cultivate Krishna consciousness is most intelligent. The creation and destruction of the cosmic manifestation are under the superior guidance of God. Thus, the battle of Kurukshetra was fought according to the plan of God. Arjuna was refusing to fight, but he was told that he should fight in accordance with the desire of the Supreme Lord. Then he would be happy. If one is in full Krishna consciousness and his life is devoted to the Lord's transcendental service, he is perfect. So the idea is that the Supreme Lord had already planned it out. That Duryodhana, Bhishma, and others, they would be killed. But he is giving the opportunity to Arjuna to take the credit. Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadrattam cha Karnam dathanyanapi yodha viran Mayahatam swam jahima vyathishta Yudhyasvajeta sirane sapatnan. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight, and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. Arjuna had earlier on expressed a doubt. I do not know whether we would win or whether we would be won. It was not clear to him. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, never, you should not have a doubt whether you would succeed. You would certainly win. I have already decided that their lifespan would be taken away. Therefore, you should attack. You should kill them. Do not become frightened, thinking that how is it possible for me to attack these persons endowed with celestial divine weapons? What is the labor involved in killing those who are already dead? Just as no one would be frightened to attack a dead body. So like that, Arjuna is being advised that these people I've already decided that they're going to die. So you fearlessly you fight with them and you kill them. So giving up your fear, fight against these people and win. You will certainly win. Sanjay Uvacha. Etat Shutva Vachanam Keshavasya Kritanjalirvepamana Kiriti Namaskritva Bhuya Evaha Krishnam Sagad Kadam Bhita Bhita Pranamya. Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He tearfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows. Again, this is due to Adbhuta. Having heard these three verses of Lord Keshava, the son of Pritha, Arjuna, who was trembling because of great fear upon seeing this very terrible form, terrible, wonderful form, he offered obeisances unto Lord Krishna again and again, because he was extremely overcome with fear and with the trembling of his throat, he managed to speak. As we have already explained, because of the situation created by the universal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna became bewildered in wonder. Thus he began to offer his respectful obeisances to Krishna again and again. And with a faltering voice, he began to pray, not as a friend, but as a devotee in wonder. So here is Adbhuta Rasa again. But this time it is not mixed with fear. Arjuna Vacha. Sthane Rishikesh Tava Pratirtya Jagat Prakrishyatyanurajyate Cha Prachamsi Bhitani Dishodravanti Sarve Namasyanti Cha Siddha Sangha. Arjuna said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name. Thus everyone becomes attached to you, although the perfected beings offer you the respectful homage. The demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. Sthane. Everything is appropriate. Now here, Arjuna noticed an interesting feature. He saw Krishna's extremely pleasing form, and he had also seen his extremely terrible form simultaneously, as if in an entertainment. So having understood that both of them are two different features. The first is a feature for those who are favorable to him, and the second is a feature for those who are averse to him. Having understood that, Arjuna glorifies Lord Krishna, saying, actually, everything is appropriate, meaning the devastating feature is meant for those who are averse to you, whereas your sweet features are for those who are submissive to you. He speaks 11 verses of prayer. It is appropriate. The Devas, Gandharvas, Siddha, Vidyadharas, and others who had come to see this war, uh, they are very happy. They are very happy with you as the person who is going to destroy the evil. So they are very happy, and they are also very much attached to you. This is appropriate. On the other hand, the Rakshasas, Asuras, Danavas, uh, they are averse to you, and they have an evil nature. They are very frightened of the glorification offered by the Devas and so on. And they are trying to run away. They are going away in all different directions. And this is also appropriate. You manifest your form according to the attitude of the living creatures. This is the implication. Seeing that you favor those who are civilized, those who accept the pathway of devotional service in Vedic Dharma, and you repress those who are not submissive to you. Your devotees, perfected souls, such as the four Kumaras, they offer obeisances unto you. They say, Jai, Jai, Bhagavan, all glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they offer obeisances unto you. This is also appropriate because you charm the minds of your devotees. So in every manner, you are fully, every way, your behavior with various classes of living creatures, it is all appropriate. All this is rightly done. Arjuna, after hearing from Krishna about the outcome of the battle of Kurukshetra, became enlightened. And as a great devotee and friend of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he said that everything done by Krishna is quite correct. Arjuna confirmed that Krishna is the maintainer and the direct object of worship for the devotees and the destroyer of the undesirables. His actions are equally good for all. Arjuna understood herein that when the battle of Kurukshetra was being concluded, in outer space there were present many demigods, siddhas, and the intelligentsia of the higher planets, and they were observing the fight because Krishna was present there. When Arjuna saw the universal form of the Lord, the demigods took pleasure in it. But others who were demons and atheists could not stand it when the Lord was praised. Out of their natural fear of the devastating form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they fled. Krishna's treatment of the devotees and the atheists is praised by Arjuna. In all cases, a devotee glorifies the Lord because he knows that whatever he does is good for all. Kasmat chatenam nameran mahatman gariyase brahmanopyadikatre anantadevesha jagannivasa tumaksharam saddasat tatparam yat. O great one, greater even than Brahma, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer the respectful obeisances unto you? O limitless one, God of gods, refuge of the universe, you are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. Then in 4 verses, having pointed out that the Supreme Lord is the appropriate object of worship, appropriate object of respectful obeisances from everyone, now he points out how the Supreme Lord is everything in the sense that he pervades over everything. He establishes this in 4 verses, beginning with Kasmat. O great soul, meaning, O one of liberal intelligence, liberal mind, O unlimited, meaning O all pervasive one, O Lord of the Devas, meaning O controller of all the Devas, O shelter of the universe, meaning O shelter of everything. Why would the perfected beings not offer obeisance unto you? Certainly they would offer obeisance unto you, because you are greater than even Brahma, because you are the object of worship for um, because you are the object of worship for even Brahma, being the original creator. The original creator means the one who does, who creates the elements. Actually, Lord Brahma is a secondary creator, but the Supreme Lord himself is the primary creator. So certainly, you are greater than even Brahma, meaning that even Brahma is meant to offer obeisances unto you. The living entity which has come in contact with Prakriti, as well as uh, Prakriti itself, which has gross and subtle features, all of that, and that which is beyond. You are all of that. And that is the liberated living entity who is transcendental to Prakriti itself. That also is you. In fact, all of them are your different forms. By this offering of obeisances, Arjuna indicates that Krishna is worshipable by everyone. He is all pervading, and he is the soul of every soul. Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Mahatma, which means that he is most magnanimous and unlimited. Another indicates there is nothing which is not covered by the influence and energy of the Supreme Lord, and Devesha means that he is a controller of all demigods and is above them all. He is the shelter of the whole universe. Arjuna also thought that it was fitting that all the perfect living entities and powerful demigods offer the respectful obeisances unto him, because no one is greater than him. Arjuna especially mentions that Krishna is greater than Brahma because Brahma is created by him. The word Aksharam is very significant because this material creation is subject to destruction, but the Lord is above this material creation. He is the cause of all causes, and being so, he is superior to all the conditioned souls within his material nature, as well as the material cosmic manifestation itself. He is therefore the all great supreme. Tvamadideva Purushah Purana Tvamasi Vishwasya Param Nidhanam Vetasi Vedyam Cha Param Cha Dhama Tvaya Tatam Vishvam Ananta Rupa. You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge above the material modes or limitless form. This whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. All words ultimately refer to you. Everything is resting on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he is the ultimate rest. Ultimate rest, because even the impersonal Brahman effulgence rests on Krishna. He is a knower of everything that is happening in this world, and if knowledge has any end, he is in the false knowledge. Therefore, he is the known and the knowable. He is the object of knowledge because he is all pervading. This will become clear in chapter 13 onwards. Because he is the cause in the spiritual world, he is transcendental. He is also the chief personality in the transcendental world. Vayuryamogner varunasya shanka prajapatisvam prapitamahasya namo namastestu sahasra kritva punasya bhuyoti namo namaste. You are air, and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, and you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times, and again, and yet again. Notice that this is an identity series. In fact, um, this is definitely an identity sequence here, where Krishna is being identified with Vayu, Yama, Agni, Varuna, Shashanka means Chandra, moon, Prajapati is Brahma. Now, this I mentioned earlier that whenever there's an identity sequence, before that and after that, there are always statements which clarify the exact relationship between these items and the Supreme Lord. So you can see, if you look at the verses that come before, from here, you can see that he is the controller of everything in material existence. And you see this verse. And then you see later on, again it will become clear what is the exact relationship between these items and the Supreme Lord. The nature of that identity will be clear now. Now, Purasta Radhabrishtaste Namoste Sarvata Eva Sarva Anantavirya Vikramastvam Sarvam Samapnoshi Tatosi Sarva. Operation is to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless power. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. You cover everything. Therefore, you are everything. See the word therefore. This gives a reason. Why are you everything? You're everything because you cover everything. You cover everything means you pervade everything. You are present in everything. Because you are present in everything, therefore you are said to be everything. It is in this sense that Krishna is identified with Vayu. Vayu is a demigod. Yama is a demigod. Agni is a demigod. Varuna is a demigod. So is Vayu the Supreme Personality of Godhead? No. Is Vayu identical with Krishna in every sense? No. Lord Vishnu, or rather Lord Krishna, he pervades over Vayu. He is the inner pervader and controller of Vayu, and therefore he is identified with Vayu. He pervades over, and he is the inner ruler of Yama, and therefore he is identified with Yama. Similarly, he pervades over fire, and he is the inner controller of fire, and therefore he is identified with fire. Same thing with water, same thing with the moon, same thing with Brahma, and so on. Bhagavad Devotion says that the reason why he is referring to the Supreme Lord Krishna as being everything is stated in text 40, last line. Sarvam samapnoshi tatosi sarva. Because you pervade over everything, therefore you are said to be everything. It is in this sense that it is also stated in Sri Vishnu Purana. Yoyam tavagato devas samipam devata ganaha sattvam jagat srashta yatah sarvagato bhavan. The demigods who have appeared in front of you, you are them, O creator of this universe, because you are all pervasive. Because you are all pervasive, therefore you are identified with everything. So from this we understand that he is not these demigods literally, but rather he is metaphorically described to be equal to them. Whoever comes before you, even if he be a demigod, is created by you, or Supreme Personality of God. And you pervade over him, yata sarvagato bhavan. Because you pervade over him, therefore you are that. Okay, this is one section. Before we go to the next section, any questions? Okay, let's continue. Arjuna, so far, he sees his own friend Krishna in the feature of displaying the feature of the universal form. So he has prayed to this form, he has offered obeisances to this form, and because his friendship with Krishna is mixed with knowledge of the Lord's opulences, um, he then beseeches praise to Krishna in two verses. Sakheti matva prasabham yaduktam he Krishna he Yadava he Sakheti ajanata mahimanam tavedam maya pramada pranayena vapi yachavahasarthamasatkritosi vihara shayyasana bhojaneshu ekothavapyatyutat samaksham takshamaye tvamaham prameyam. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glory. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone, and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. So now he is asking pardon, begging Krishna to forgive him for the many informal gestures which arise out of friendship. He is admitting that formerly he did not know that Krishna could assume such a universal form, although Krishna explained it as his intimate friend. Arjuna did not know how many times he may have dishonored Krishna by addressing him, "O my friend, O Krishna, O Yadava," etc., without acknowledging his opulence. Krishna is so kind and merciful that in spite of such opulence, he played with Arjuna as a friend. Such is the transcendental loving reciprocation between the devotee and the Lord. The relationship between the living entity and Krishna is fixed eternally. It cannot be forgotten, as we can see from the behavior of Arjuna. Although Arjuna has seen the opulence, the universal form, he cannot forget his friendly relationship with Krishna. Now, these verses also appear elsewhere. Very interesting description. Okay, this is all taken from Lord Chaitanya's teaching. This is teaching to Lord Chaitanya, chapter 1. In general, attachment to Krishna is of two kinds. The first kind is attachment with awe and veneration, characterized by a lack of freedom. Such attachment is exhibited in Mathura and on the Vaikuntha planets. In these abodes of the Lord, the flavor of transcendental loving service is restricted. But in Gokula or Vrindavan, love is freely exchanged. And although the cowherd boys and damsels of Krishna know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of God, they do not show awe and veneration because of the great intimacy of the relationship with and in the five principal transcendental relationships. Awe and veneration are sometimes impediments to one's service to the Lord. When there is friendship, parental affection, or conjugal love, such awe and veneration are impediments. Notice this. If you read carefully, you'll understand. In Gokula Vrindavan, the cowherd boys, damsels, they know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they do not possess any awe and veneration. It is this awe and veneration that are impediments. It is not that knowledge of Krishna being the Supreme Personality of Godhead is an impediment. That's a mistaken conception in certain parts of ISKCON. that in Goloka Vrindavan, the residents literally do not know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead at all. They do know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, theoretically. But that much they know. They know that. It's not that they don't know. But you can say that they don't know that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead with awe and veneration. For example, when Krishna appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, they prayed to the Lord with awe and veneration because they understood that the Supreme Lord Krishna or Vishnu had appeared before them as a little child. Similarly, when Arjuna saw the universal form of the Lord, he was so afraid that he begged pardon for his dealings with Krishna as an intimate friend. As a friend, Arjuna often behaved unceremoniously with the Lord. Upon seeing the awesome universal form, Arjuna said, "My dear Krishna, sometimes I insulted you by calling you my dear friend Krishna without knowing the greatness of your inconceivable power. Please forgive me. I was mad to address you like a common friend or a common man." Similarly, when Krishna was playing jokes on Rukmini, she feared that he might leave her and became so perturbed that she dropped the fan with which he was fanning him and fainted, falling unconscious to the floor as her hair scattered. She resembled a plantain tree blown down by a blast of wind. But you don't experience such awe and veneration with Krishna's associates in Vrindavan, like Yashoda, for instance. Yashoda was not at all frightened. Similarly, Sri Rama and similarly others, they are not frightened. So they lack that awe and veneration. Arjuna is here exhibiting awe and veneration. Pitasi lokasya characharasya tvamasya pujyascha gururgariyan natvat samostyabhyatikah kutonyo lokatrayepya pratima prabhava. You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation, of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is greater than you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then would there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power? Why is the Supreme Lord of immeasurable potency? It is because he is the worshipable father and guru of the entire world. Srila Baladev Vidyavati. Father is a worshipable father and of the world. He is also the guru. Guru means one who instructs on the basis of the Vedic scriptures. You are that. So in every manner, you are the supreme guru. You are the greatest. Therefore, your influence is unrivaled. Therefore, in this world, there is no one who is equal to you, and there is no one who is superior to you. Because there are no two supreme beings. We learn that from the Shruti itself. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is worshipable as a father is worshipable for his son. He is the spiritual master because he originally gave the Vedic instructions to Brahma, and presently he is also instructing Bhagavad-gita to Arjuna. That one is the original spiritual master, and any bona fide spiritual master at the present moment must be a descendant in the line of disciplines stemming from Krishna. Without being a representative of Krishna, one cannot become a teacher or spiritual master of transcendental subject matter. The Lord is being paid obeisances in all respects. He is of immeasurable greatness. The knowledge, strength, and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are all transcendental. He is a supreme being. One should know that Krishna's activities are different from others. The best policy is to follow the principles of Krishna. That will make one perfect. It is also stated that there is no one who is master of Krishna. Everyone is his servant. Only Krishna is God and everyone else is his servant. Everyone is complying with his order. There is no one who can deny his order. Everyone is acting according to his direction, being under his superintendence. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, he is the cause of all causes. Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam prasadaye tvamaham nishamidyam Deva putrasya sakheva sakhi priyati ayarhachideva saukham. You are the Supreme Lord, to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a husband the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done you. Krishna's devotees relate to Krishna in various relationships. One might treat Krishna as a son, or one might treat Krishna as a husband, as a friend, or as a master. Krishna and Arjuna are related in friendship, as the father tolerates, or the husband or a master tolerates, so Krishna tolerates. I offer Sashtanga obeisances unto you, O Lord. You should please forgive my offense, just as a friend forgives the offense of a friend. Okay. Any questions? Let's see if we have this. The first half will go with the remaining part of chapter 11, which is quite dense. Quite dense. And the second half will go with chapter 12. Okay, I'll stop with this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.